got the one. That was the one critique I got last week. Was like it kept moving off the microphone, and I've asked. You know, the long term, the right solution is to get me a lavalier. You know, like the clicks to.
But then they can't see you. The camera doesn't. So there's two things. It's the mic and the piece that can see you is pretty wide.
Good morning. Welcome to Bay Area Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Claire Zimmerman. I am a longtime member who loves this church even more than I did when I started here and joined a new UU class. This is a religious community which celebrates freedom of belief and calls us to serve others. Our mission is to change lives and heal our world. I am grateful to have been stretched and formed here. If you are new to us this morning, we hope our community offers you a place to grow your spirit and find comfort, support, and inspiration. Our new minister, Reverend Katie McQuaige Lucas, has arrived. She's here. She will be in the pulpit for her first sermon as our settled minister on August 27th. Today, we are pleased to welcome our guest speaker, David Throop. David has been an active UU since 1978 and a member of our church since 1993. He has long been a lay preacher and has spoken at most of the pulpits in the greater Houston area. He works as a data scientist for BAUUC, where he does artificial intelligence work. He and his wife, Kathy, have raised 4 children.
In this church.
Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 1002 in the teal hymnal. We do have words on the board, on the wall too. We will sing verses 1, 2, and 4. Cindy Lewis will light our chalice for us today. Thank you, Cindy. These are words by Deborah Burrell. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. May it light for us a path of joy and peace. Our faith is not defined by a rule of beliefs, but rather by a rule of behavior, which is the honoring of promises to be true and generous servants to each other and the world. Let us renew these promises by saying our covenant together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Now we're going to do a responsive reading, number 659 in the gray hymnal. So I'll read the part that is non-italicized, and you read the parts that are italicized. This is Walt Whitman's For You. The sum of all known reverence I add up in you, whoever you are. All architecture is what you do to it when you look upon it. All music is what awakens when you are reminded by it. The sun and stars that float in the open air, the apple-shaped earth, and we upon it. The endless pride and outstretching people, unspeakable joys and sorrows. The wonder everyone sees in everyone else they see, and the wonders that fill each minute of time forever. It is for you, whoever you are. It is no harder than you that aside from you. It is hindered by years of confidence and readiness. We consider Bibles and religions divine. I do not say they are not divine. I say they have all grown out of you and may grow out of you still. It is not they who give life. It is you who give life. Will you seek afar off? You surely come back at last in things best known to you, finding the best or as good as the best. Guidance, knowledge, not in another place, but this place, not for another.
Remember how you used to say you couldn't wait till tomorrow for a brand new day, and no fuss when you had to ride the bus. You just add a little blush to paralyze your school crush. Now you're older and the weight is on your shoulder and make the world look hiding in the old days. Be strong, don't give up hope, it will get hard. Life's like a jump rope, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, yeah. It will get hard, 'cause remember life's like a jump rope, up, down, down, up, down, yeah. It will get hard, 'cause it will get hard. There'll be a bump and there will be a bruise. There'll be alarms and there will be a snooze. There'll be a path that you will have to choose. There'll be a win and there will be a lose. And you have to hold your head up high and watch all the negative go by. Don't you ever be ashamed to cry. You go ahead, 'cause life's like a jump rope. Up, down, 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 yeah. It will get hard, remember, life's like a jump rope. Up, down, 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 yeah. It will get hard. I want to tell you that everything will be okay, that everything will eventually turn itself to gold. So keep pushing through it all. Don't follow, lead the way. Don't lose yourself or your hope, 'cause life's like a jump rope. Up, down, yeah. Up, so feet spin around, clap your hands to the rhythm, then you slip down. Feet so hard you make it pound, raise the bottom to the top, and now we're never coming down. Up, down, 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 yeah. It will get hard, remember, life's like a jump rope. Up, down, 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 yeah. It will get hard, 'cause it will get hard. Life's like a jump rope. Up, down, 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 yeah. Whoa, 'cause life's like a jump rope.
Good morning. The story for all ages today is the ant and the grasshopper. In a field one summer's day, a grasshopper was hopping about, chirping and singing to its heart's content. An ant passed by, bearing along with great toil an ear of corn that he was taking to the nest. "Why not come and chat with me," said the grasshopper, "instead of toiling and moiling in that way?" "Well, I'm helping to lay up food for the winter," said the ant, "and I recommend that you do the same." "Why bother about winter," said the grasshopper. "We have got plenty of food at present." But the ant went on its way and continued its toil. When the winter came, the grasshopper found itself dying of hunger, while it saw the ants distributing every day corn and grain from the stores that they had collected in the summer. And then the grasshopper knew it is best to prepare for the days of necessity.
Today's keeper of the flame is Ada. As we send our children off to learn and grow together, please join me in saying and singing the words printed in your order of worship. We pass this flame of religious freedom from generation to generation.
In this church, in this faith tradition, we learn from ancient wisdom and we learn from modern wisdom. This morning's ancient wisdom is from the words of Jesus in the Gospel of Luke 12. Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed as one of these. If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be of doubtful mind. For these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that you have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all of these things shall be added to you. Thus ends the ancient wisdom. Take one more step. This is sacred time. This Sunday morning, this gathering together is sacred time. Be present. Try to be present. Try silencing your phone. Try setting aside the secular concerns which distract you from the sacred moment of now and here. What day is it? Asked Winnie the Pooh. It is today, squeaked Piglet. My favorite day, said Winnie the Pooh. And you are called to be present. Ancient and modern wisdom warn against living in the past or being lost in the future. Archbishop Desmond Tutu said, "There is only one way to eat an elephant, one bite at a time." In our own tradition, Ralph Waldo Emerson, in Self-Reliance, told us to be more like roses. He said, man is timid and apologetic. He is no longer upright. He dares not say, I think, I am, but quotes some sage or saint. He is ashamed before the blade of grass or the blowing rose. These roses under my window make no reference to the former roses or the better ones. They are for what they are. They exist with God today. There is no time to them. There is simply the rose. It is perfect in every moment of its existence. Before the leaf bud has burst, its whole life acts. In the full-blown flower, there is no more. The leafless root, there is no less. Its nature is satisfied, and it satisfies nature in all moments alike. But man postpones or remembers. He does not live in the present, but with reverted eye, he laments the past. Or heedless of the riches that surround him, he stands on tiptoe to foresee the future. He cannot be happy and strong until he too lives with nature in the present, above time. So Jesus has told us to be more like the lilies of the field, and Emerson has told us to be more like the roses, living in the moment, living one with nature, not worrying about past, not worrying about future. Lao Tse taught that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And I'd like to say that all of those pieces of advice sound pretty good. They sound pretty good, but they're really impractical. I mean, look at what happened to the grasshopper. He was really good at living in the moment until he wasn't, right? And don't be like the grasshopper. So this advice to be in the moment, to break things into very small pieces and just focus your consciousness on now, this moment, this step, this bite of elephant. Well, that's good advice, but it should be used under adult supervision. As for Desmond Tutu and eating the elephant one bite at a time, I'll just tell you a little of what happened to me when I tried to just eat. Well, I was back when the La Madeleine had a more extensive menu, and I went in there one day, and there on the daily special board it said elephant cutlet. And it was in a different handwriting than the rest of what was up there. But I thought that would be good for that, so I went to the serving line and I asked for an elephant cutlet. And the server actually looked kind of panicked actually. But I pointed out that it said on the board that they had elephant cutlets. He said, "Well, it'll be we don't have that cooked up yet, but hold on a minute." So I went out. I grabbed the coffee and went out and sat at a table. And after a while, the manager came out and he said, you are eating alone? I said, yeah, I'm here alone. He said, and you're just ordering one elephant cutlet. I said, yeah, just one. He said, you're sure you don't want to order a plate of elephant cutlets to go? No, just one elephant cutlet, I said. He said, I am so sorry, he said, but for one elephant cutlet, we cannot cut up the elephant. So Jesus told us to be like the lilies of the field and not worry about our raiment, not worry about our clothes. But I would like to point out to you that next weekend is tax-free weekend for clothing in Texas. And last week, I didn't plan ahead, and so I missed the tax-free weekend. And I commend you to plan ahead so that you can get a discount on your clothes for next week. Worry about it a little bit in advance. And Lao Tse told us that a 1,000-mile journey just requires us to take the first step. But I tell you that it's a lot better before you take that first step to actually have a plan. And maybe some food and water, and even know where the ATMs are along the way. Emerson wants us to live outside of time. And be here now is blissful. And I have done it for good effect. But you shouldn't do it while operating heavy equipment, heavy machinery, like driving, or even cooking. If you just start cooking in the moment without worrying about what comes next, you're going to burn that food, and it's especially a problem if you're doing a big and complicated recipe, like cooking an elephant. But it is possible to plan for the future without worrying and without fear. Reinhold Niebuhr gave us his serenity prayer, and he taught this prayer: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And the first two lines of that poem are easy to get wrong and easy to misfollow. The truth is, there is almost nothing that you can do, nothing of importance that you can do all by yourself. And there's almost nothing that you can't make at least a small difference on if you add your shoulder to the shoulders of others. So the world doesn't neatly divide into the things that you can do and the things that you can't do. The things that you can change and the things you can't do. It doesn't divide up like that at all. But that's where the third line comes in. It is that prayer for wisdom. He asked for wisdom to know the difference. And the wisdom will tell you what are the things that you can change but are not your business to change. What are the things that you can only make a small difference on, and yet you are called to put your shoulder to that wheel with others. So ask for wisdom. Look for wisdom. Ask in your meditations. Ask your beloved community for wisdom, for truth. Ask God. Ask your higher power for truth and for wisdom so that you may know the difference. Ask your ancestors, but ask for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. Open a place in your heart for the wisdom to know how to take these pieces of ancient wisdom and modern wisdom and actually apply them and make a difference in the world. Gradually, by asking, we change. I know that by asking for wisdom, by praying for wisdom, by meditating on wisdom, for calling on my community for wisdom and truth, have been changed slowly, have been changed not nearly as much as I wish I had, and yet some small smidgen of wisdom has come to live in my heart by asking and asking again, and praying again, and turning again, and covenanting again. Some small smidgen of wisdom has indeed landed in my heart, and my days have been more pleasant for it. Gradually, by asking for change, by asking for wisdom and truth, you will change. Sometimes you can just be here now and let go of the trauma of the past and dodge the fear of the future and be in a sacred time, in a sacred place, with a sacred community. You can be here now. You can plan for the future without worrying for the future or dreading the future. Children live in the now. Children are very good at living in the now. They are not so good about understanding the consequences of what they did in the past. They're not so good about anticipating the future. When Kathy and my third child was being born, Rebecca was being born, we knew a girl was coming, but we hadn't chosen yet a name, and we asked Lila and Nathaniel, well, what shall we name the baby? And Nathaniel said, let's name her Lila. And I said, but we already have a Lila. And he said, yes, and it will be a lot easier to remember if there's only one name. He was perfectly in the now. He was not looking ahead. Children live in the now, and that's wonderful, but you adults in this group, be in the now, but attend to the past and attend to the future. We are called to no less. Even Baba Ram Das, who published the book called Be Here Now and went around the country teaching Be Here Now, he was quoted as saying, just because you are seeing divine light and experiencing waves of bliss or conversing with gods and goddesses, that is no reason not to know your zip code. So I advise you, find time in your week to be here now, to be in the present, to set aside the past and the future. But it is not a place to live your life all the time. If you will attempt, even in the moment of silence, even in the moment of sacred space, you will fail. You will fail to put aside your worries you will fail to put aside your regrets. Your mind will still go to the past. Your mind will still dither in the future when you're trying to be here now. It's a setup for failure, and yet, be here now somewhat. Being here now can be a trap. Psychopaths are also good at being in the now. There are many malicious and damaged people who think not at all of the regrets for the people that they've harmed. They do not think ahead to the consequences of what they're about to do. They are just living for the moment. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. Rather, live in the now with a full consciousness that there is a past to honor and a future to work on. So I'll give you another impossible set of directions. The Zen teaching story about the tigers and the strawberry. Once upon a time, as a man was walking through a forest, he saw a tiger peering out at him from the underbrush. As the man turned to run, he heard the tiger spring after him to give chase. Barely ahead of the tiger, running for his life, our hero came to the edge of a steep cliff. Climbing onto a strong vine, the man climbed over the cliff edge just as the tiger was about to pounce. Hanging over the side of the cliff with a hungry tiger pacing above him, the man looked down and was dismayed to see another tiger stalking the ravine far below. Just then, a tiny mouse darted out from a crack in the cliff above him and began to gnaw at the vine. At that precise moment, the man noticed a patch of wild strawberries growing from a clump of earth near where he dangled. Reaching out, he plucked one. It was plump and perfectly ripe, warmed by the sunshine. He popped the strawberry in his mouth, and it was perfectly delicious. The end. There is wise advice in that koan, and you can't follow it, and I can't follow it. And yet, there is a story to be learned there. You can't follow it. I mean, if you're in that situation, you're not going to really enjoy the strawberry. Indeed, Samuel Johnson told us a long time ago, "Depend upon it, sir, when a man knows that he is to be hanged in a fortnight, it concentrates his mind wonderfully." Your consciousness is going to be on the end of your life if you're that close to the end. And yet, there is if we interpret those stories with wisdom, the little wisdom that we have, we can learn something about how to be a little bit more in the now, in the moment. Where do you get that wisdom? Where do you get that wisdom and the wisdom to know the difference? You have already asked for it. You have already prayed. You have already covenanted for it this morning. We spoke in the words in our covenant. The search for truth is our sacrament. And saying those words week after week, Sunday morning after Sunday morning, year after year, slowly transforms us and makes us a little bit open, a little bit more open to truth and to wisdom, to the truths that are testified by the people gathered here this morning, by the wisdom that we carry in our tradition. You have already this morning asked for truth and wisdom to deal with the things you fear. My experience in giving sermons is that on any given Sunday morning, this Sunday morning, somebody here is hungry, hurting for the truth and for the wisdom. There is some one of us sitting in these chairs who is struggling with an awful, regrettable yesterday. There's some one of us looking ahead to tomorrow with fear in their soul. And if you are such a soul here this morning, turn to these people, to this Sunday congregation. There is wisdom here, and solace, and help. People here for you, people who wish to covenant with you, to ease you in this troubled time. Connie Goodbread chairs our southern region, our Unitarian Universalist southern region, and she wrote a covenant for us. And she writes, "With hope for a bright future, I come in trust. With love in my heart for all of creation, I come in humility. Seeking justice for all, marginalizing none, I come in open-mindedness. With courage, I come willing to be transformed. With great joy, I come to bind myself to you so that together we can do what I cannot do alone." So if you cannot this morning be here now, if you cannot be present in this moment, if you struggle to let go, even for an hour, of the past and the future, I repeat the last line. With great joy, I come to bind myself to you so that we together can do what I cannot do alone. You cannot do it alone. And yet, eating elephants is not a sustainable dietary practice, but if you insist on eating elephants, reach out to friends, reach out to colleagues, sit down at the table before you take that first bite. Be here now, and now you are with the people that can offer you the wisdom and the solace that you so need. I'll close with the words of Maya Angelou. If you must look back, do so forgivingly. If you must look forward, do love prayerfully. However, the wisest thing you can do is be present in the present gratefully. Thank you. Join me now, if you will, in a time of silent meditation and prayer for a minute. May our ears be open to hear the truth. May our hearts be open to welcome the wisdom. Be present, be here now.
We now turn our hearts and minds towards one another and bring into our circle of concern all those who are in need here in this church community and in the larger community beyond our doors. If you have a sorrow or joy you'd like to honor, I invite you to come forward during the music and light a candle. At the end of the ceremony, I will light a candle for the family of Sally and Keith Jordan to mark the death this week of their son, Carl. Please hold Sally, Keith, and Susan in your hearts at this difficult time. They are not ready for calls yet, but cards, prayers, and well wishes would be appreciated. I will also light a final candle for all of our joys and sorrows, which are too tender to acknowledge at this time. time for our offering. These words are from Victoria Weinstein. The offering is a sacrament of the free church. We say in our church that the offering is a sacrament of the free church. What we mean by that is that we believe it is a blessing to be able to govern and support our religious community ourselves, to make possible by our generosity everything we dream of, and to live out our shared values. Every week, we lift up the spiritual value of generosity by taking an offering for the ministries of this church. Our plate then, as it is passed among us, becomes filled with the evidence of that generosity. It is our harvest, gathered in every week for what most nourishes us. The greeters will now come among you to receive the gifts of the congregation. The morning offering will now be most gratefully received. Thank you, Wendy, Clara, Lillian. Lovely. Please join me in blessing the offering by saying the words printed in your order of worship. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world. Gloria, do you have a special announcement? Come up here.
There's a slide. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I'm Gloria Miller. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at Bay Area. And I just wanted to commit and just recognize some of the really hard work that's been going on this summer by the volunteers that have come down here on their own time and helped out. The big picture that you see on the I guess it would be the far right. That's our new youth fellowship room. We wrote a proposal with a group of parents and our religious education team to fund redecorating, redesign for rooms 103 and 104. And so the painting is done, and now we are working on finishing the floors. Our sextant Lillian is doing that, and then our furniture is coming in. And we have had several volunteers put together the combination. It's a game table of an air hockey, pool table, and ping pong table. It took 5 hours for 2 of our members to put together, but they did it. Craig Stanton and Mike Hibbets. And then we have some furniture coming in that Christine Villanueva has been putting together. And so then on the very bottom left, that is just another picture of our youth fellowship room. And then let's talk about those other 3. We had some soccer goals donated to us by Leslie Murphy, and we got those put up by Craig Stanton, Christine Villanueva, and Joe Stromberg. Came down on a Saturday and put those up for us. And then on the top right, for a very long time, our men's restroom has needed a wall replaced, and John McCorkadale came down after service and spent his whole afternoon into the evening with Lillian repairing that wall. And then John McCorkadale and Aaron, his grandson, are in the center on top. Liz, was it like a Monday yoga class that you were down here, and we saw a turtle out front, and Liz noticed the turtle was laying eggs, and our 7th principle is respecting the interconnected web of life. And so she went home and told John, and correct me if I'm wrong, John and Aaron came down and built a cage around, a protective cage around that turtle nest, so that hopefully, it should be soon, those turtles will hatch. Go ahead.
They help born those spikes up today.
Oh, okay.
They should be born in the this starting today for another month. So.
Right after service? Can somebody just maybe catch you right out in the foyer after service? All right, if anybody's willing or able to help with pulling those stakes so that those baby turtles can crawl out. How wonderful. And so thank you to everybody that's been able to help this summer. I think we're getting a lot done, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful rejuvenation in the fall.
Okay, so more announcements. First, I want to thank David for your service both today and last week. We're very grateful. Okay, for our first slide, our annual tribute to our beloved animal friends is just around the corner on Sunday, August 20th. This ceremony is always fun and family-friendly. To make it the best ever, we need everybody to bring their pets to be blessed and admired. In addition, as part of the ceremony, we would like to show off pictures of our pets along with their human family members. We want to see all of them. Don't miss your chance. Please send photos along with your name, with the name of your pet, to office@BAUUC.org. And if you don't have a picture of your pet with you, it's okay to just send a picture of your pet, but we'd love to have you in the photo also. All photos must be received by August 14th, so that's 8 days from now to be included in the service, so it's a week from Monday. So we need those photos in soon. Okay, so next, on Saturday, August 26th, everyone is invited to join us for the annual Community Garden Potluck in Cockrell Hall at 11:30. Bring a favorite dish to share and join us for good food, an interesting speaker, door prizes, and camaraderie. Check the weekly briefs for more information on how to RSVP. This afternoon, it says at 12:30, but I think probably by 12:15 you could head over to Cockrell Hall. We invite you to join BAUUC member Kathy Vance in Cockrell Hall for a book signing event. This is a big deal. Kathy will read excerpts from her new novel, The Mountains Under Her Feet, and will be available to sign copies. Woo. Okay, don't miss that. Immediately after today's service, we invite you to join us outside the sanctuary for coffee and fellowship. So it'll be right over here in this room. So that's immediately after the service. Everyone is invited to mingle over beverages and snacks. And finally, if you're not on our email list, either you can sign one of those visitor cards back in the back, or you can go to our website at BAUUC.org. We send out an email of weekly briefs every Tuesday. So if you sign up today by signing a card or going to the website, you'll get this Tuesday's email. And they contain all of these and many other activities that are happening in our church. Okay, so please rise in body or spirit for our closing song, number 1018 in the Teal hymnal. Come and Go With Me.
Centuries ago, the Sanskrit poet Kalidasa wrote, "Today is but a dream, tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Therefore, learn from that past but without shame in it. Plan for the future but without dreading it. Trust in the wisdom and the search for truth you have already covenanted in this tradition of UU faith and with this UU community.